Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
Now, how do you feel about that?
About being a captain? Well, all my friends call me Captain. But what's Stuart Foley like? I don't know. Anyway, no, I feel fine about that. Why? I don't need to show off my captain's bars and my captain's.
But you're an explorer. You like fine art. I think those of us in uniform, in some sort of grey uniform, have a certain knowledge, and I'm English as well. Englishness in a grey uniform, we have a certain knowledge of these things. I think, Stuart.
It's true. It's true. Do you want me to tell you about my childhood now? Like,
well, no, you can tell us what we're doing today. Tell me the story of this episode of Trekyards, Stuart, and start properly.
On this episode of Trekyards, we are going to be talking about something we saw in the last episode of Picard, Season 2, Episode 7, Monsters. And that is a new uniform.
I feel like we'd start counting how many new uniforms New Trek has given us. It must be close to 24 at this point. Yeah, yes. But yeah, so we have Dr. Gaius Baltar playing not Dr. Gaius Baltar, although he's playing sort of maybe a doctor. Not really, but, watch the episode. And yes, first scene, he's in about 4 scenes with this uniform. It was great in that. It's not fitted perfectly, but it's fitted pretty good. These uniforms do look better standing than sitting, and he sits most of it, so that doesn't do him any justice. Although you can see I'm sitting in different fabric. But yes, first picture, I found the best shots. Obviously, return of the combat. Although, as they do with all the new Trek, for some reason they think it goes up to the line. They don't. They really, really don't. They go lower, and it annoys me because it's just a simple mistake of just if this is meant to be the serial uniform, it doesn't go that high. It looks unneat to me, as if they're trying, whereas it's meant to... Anyway, just bugs me every time I see it. But yeah, what do you think of the uniform, Stuart? Now I've brightened the images as well, so you can see detail. What do you think now seeing it? This grey Voyager uniform.
I like it. I did notice it in the episode that was different. I did notice the black highlighting here, but I really like that. It's a shame it doesn't go all the way around the collar, actually. But hey. No, it is a take on the Voyager one for sure. Because when I saw the gray, I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't have the pleats in it, so that's not the same. But it's very similar to a Voyager one. My mind was confused for a second or two watching it, but I was enjoying it. I thought, okay, he's a psychiatrist. Maybe it's just a different, version of the uniform for that specific job, or like medical personnel. I'm fine with that. I thought it was a good-looking uniform. I like the colors, and this is one I wouldn't mind getting. Usually I'm kind of picky with uniforms, but this one looks good.
Now, the colour grading in the scenes is extremely grey, and so it's really hard to see. And you can see his cuffs are blue, and so therefore his neckline is blue. It's just very colour graded. So he is a medical.
And they're angled.
Yes.
They're angled, like Picard.
Slightly angled. They're not as much, but they are slightly. They're not... Although maybe if you do that, it does kind of wrap a little bit.
No, if you zoom in and look, you can tell it's...
I can do that, and it feels like it's just by... I don't know. Not going to commit necessarily. Okay. No, I'm when I see this, obviously this is a delusion, and this character was never in this uniform. We 90% can assume, as we know who he is later. So is it a vision? Is it a delusion? Is it a reconstruction? However, when I see this, I think, well, is it a first contact uniform, but the non-military side, the non-going out there? Like you said, psychiatrist, why would they need to wear the full flagship uniform? I don't know why that's the case, but it certainly feels far more gentle. These are quite big and bold uniforms. This feels far more subtle. And that side view is so Voyager. Like, that pleated line of the shoulder is so beautiful and crisp, Voyager. Whereas these are not. These are much more big. But when you break down other shots, it kind of gives more of a Nemesis vibe. So it's an interesting hybrid. What do you think if they retconned this as being the in-between? There was like 6 months where this is the in-between uniform. They just grade up the Voyager one.
I'm fine with that. It's not necessary by any means, but I like the fact that it's more of a specialist uniform. Even with the black there, it's just a little bit different. So
it definitely has a lot less character than either this uniform or the Voyager, because you're losing the bright color, but if it's like, say, specialist medical version for the Voyager era, that'd be quite cool. Now the next picture, I actually found 3 good angles, and this is a promotion picture of Chicota, and you can see how much lower the badges are. But 3 pretty close angles to kind of see the perspective and what it is and isn't closer to.
Well, it's actually less similar to the Voyager one than I thought at first, just because of that V at the front. But it's definitely a hybrid between Voyager and First Contact. Looks like an iterative step for sure.
Because the neckline is crisp like the First Contact, but it's the fabric. There's this, because there isn't a separation on this one. There is a separation on the Voyager one. You can see the separation in the James Callis one. So the undershirt is a hybrid, very much so. The shoulder's very much of the Voyager. I mean, you can see it. It's basically perfect. I mean, it's almost identical, but the inner lip is very, very different. It's not even. I mean, it might be. I guess if you do up this up, it's basically this, but then you got the black to kind of like make it more like that, I guess. So it really is an interesting hybrid. But yeah, I thought it was more Voyager until I looked at it with these images. But I just love the shoulder, because the shoulders don't quite come across in the Voyager in that particular shot, and they get lost in the Picard one. But the way the shadows look, they look so good in that grey.
Yeah, I prefer the grey shoulders and the colored shirt underneath to the colored shoulders and the grey shirt underneath the Voyager. Yeah, I do.
That is a.
Oh, you want to fight me?
That's a bold.
Bring it.
Hot take.
It's the correct.
God, that's take. Wow, that's a stance. Jesus. But I also appreciate, and I think it was a good choice not to have the second lining around the whole thing. It would just be black on grey. Because there's a reason why in these versions they are different coloured. They actually use a slight, and there's also, they're not the same material, it's a slight different texture. So it kind of adds a certain detail. But then the next shot though is a front view of both. And again you can see it is neither version uniform. It's confusing, but I like it.
Yep, I do as well. I'm just saying that little bit of black just makes it pop for me. I like that.
See, I think they shouldn't have had the black because it just feels messy. Like, well, why is there one line? It feels unlogical. I
wish it would have gone all the way around the collar, as I said earlier. I think the black line going all the way around would have been a lot nicer. But
I think it would have felt, you instantly thought Dark Universe if it had been, because just that black straight near the neck. It's subtle, but you need that because the color is what defines a Trek uniform, not its lack of color. Like here's Riker, the red just pops because the rest of the uniform doesn't pop. You know, like I really want to see it behind the scenes of Callis, like in normal lighting, to see how nice the blue is. Like you can see, lovely. Hopefully they'll show some behind the scenes images because it's definitely worth seeing. And boy, what a great com badge shirt! What a great iconic definitive best of com badge right there.
You love your com badges and your costumes. But hey,
well, that's good. Yes, I do.
That's good. Such a great actor to put it on as well. Love that his hair is like black with the gray in it as well to match the uniform.
Yeah, very
little gray streaks.
Little gray. Now, I'd love to hear from the production if it's actually, it's not a canon uniform. Otherwise, anytime we see a fictitious version of anything, that's not, I think in one of the many weird like Voyager you see inside a dream, there's like an oversized something. It's like, well, that's not a canon uniform, is it? So I'd love to hear if this was designed to be a part of the lineage or just Picard's brain doing something weird. And also, just the last picture again closes out because there's that sort of full length, and you can see they haven't got the pleated. There's little slits in the uniform at the bottom for the TNG, so they've lost that, which has been through TNG, Voyager, and First Contact. They've lost that, but the boots are very classic TNG. And I mean, there is, in fairness, I mean, if those sides are fully diagonal, there is maybe an undershirt that's black, which maybe this is the one in between First Contact and Raffi. Although that would be weird to have a why would there be 9 uniforms in between? But I mean, it has the same fabric style as the Raffi first flashback version.
It's a cool looking uniform.
It is, and look at the beautiful L cars in the pad as well. That just make your heart happy.
It does.
And you can see some ships behind them as well. Check out our ship episode for full breakdown on those as well, as they are teasing right there behind. Trek with Trek. Lovely. And Stuart, the floor was not too shiny. Can I just say that? The floor looked fine. That's how a floor should be. If it has to be metal versus carpet.
Yeah. don't have a problem with not being carpeted, honestly, guys. It's just the shininess. Tone it down, mat it a little bit. Just saying. Yeah. That's a whole other conversation. And if you want to join us for those kind of conversations, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click the notification bell icon so you don't miss our lives where we talk about such things. But right now, we're interested in your thoughts on this uniform. So comment down below what you thought about it. If you noticed it was different, and if you didn't, say thank you to Trekyards for pointing that out. And please join us for other things as well. We do a lot of stuff.
And if you want to spot what we do here on Trekyards, then financially is the best way, besides sharing the word. So on super chatting, really helps. Direct communication, direct conversation, or Patreon, PayPal, join the channel on YouTube, any of the above, all help, or buy shirts or merch down below. Anything helps, as I said, and just keep tuning in for other videos we do.
That's right. So until next time, he is Commander Psychiatrist Cockins.
I think you're good for duty. I think we're gonna let you continue.
Are you sure? Excellent. Yeah.
What have I done? Bye, guys.